Basil, how we doing, man?
Very well, man. How's yourself?
Back again this week with another good recommendation.
Yeah, with a good one.
Yeah,
good one this week, yeah.
So we've got a rather odd one this week. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, the film. And it is on Netflix. It's rated 15. And it's a pretty simple premise for the film. It's just literally about a couple, him and her, traveling to visit his parents, and which live in a secluded farm somewhere. And that's about the only thing that is simple about this film. It's a very good film, but I'm going to ask you first, Basil, why have we picked this one this week?
It looked interesting from the trailer. I think you sent it to me and I gave it a look and it looked very good. Charlie Kaufman film, so if you've ever seen, well, for me it was being John Malkovich, but he's got quite a lot of authentic strange films. It's a big indication of this is going to be interesting. Yeah. So I think that's mainly why we picked it, because of the director, because of Charlie Kaufman.
So for those that know about, you and me know about Charlie Kaufman, but he's famous for, like you said, being John Malkovich, but also Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, another great film.
And Adaptation is with Nicolas Cage, and he doesn't have too many films, but for those that have seen those films, they know what to expect from this one, because
they leave like an imprint on you, don't they?
Yeah, it follows the same type of film. So basically, the reason why I picked it up is because of knowing that it's Charlie Kaufman. But the other thing is that it's always challenging, and it's a challenge to watch it, because it's a very specific way, the way he does movies, and every single scene has this bizarre feel about it, and is all the time something symbolizes something in those scenes, and this is the case with this film. So it is gradually turning darker and darker, I believe.
Yeah, I would use the word sinister, to be honest. Sinister, as you say, just to go with the point of, like, every scene, it could, like, embody something else, it's like it's symbolism of something else, so and a lot of the attitude in the film as well, it's like quite awkward. It's quite a kind of awkward kind of way of filming things, the way Charlie goes about it. It's like you never feel comfortable watching the film. I think that's a nice way of putting it.
Correct. And it's also you take every single scene and review it, and it makes a lot of references towards the media and how what we are watching as individuals, what we are watching defines us, defines what we are. So the media that we consume transforms who we are, basically, or impacts who we are, which is a very thoughtful way of looking at things. And he makes a lot of references to this during the movie. But it's very well put together. It's bizarre in a way that characters change during the film. And there's clues of what is actually happening throughout the film, from the dialogue to the settings to the way they speak, the characters. It's a very, for me, it was a brilliant experience to watch it. I find it a gem of a film, because all respect to Netflix for allowing such a film to be put out there.
When you hear Netflix film, you don't think of something like this, do you? But like you say, characters change as well as time. Time is a big thing in that film. Time changes quite a bit. You never know quite where you are. And with these little clues throughout the film, you're constantly trying to figure out what the film's about. Because as you say, from the premise of it, very simple storyline of just a man and a woman. Man takes a woman to meet his parents. But it's much, much more than that. And there's something going on behind the scenes, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's never, it's an experience. I like the fact that it's an experience, because by the end, it might not be completely clear for the viewer what was it all about. But during the film, there's snippets of it when it makes sense, or everything that they do and they talk about symbolizes something that you might realize, oh, this is about this thing, this is about that. Anyways, it's a very rich film. I liked it. I would, if it was for us to put it in a category, I think it will be like maybe a psychological thriller, I would call it, because it sort of looks like that.
it
but
would
it's
really
very
conventionally fit into any
exactly.
sort of genre.
It's so unconventional. You can't put it into a category, which
It
is
very
a good sign.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is a good
yeah,
sign.
and it's got so many artistic touches in the film. You know, like I say, I think on a second viewing, which is going to be a question we're going to be asking, like on a second viewing, you'd pick up a lot more about the art in the film, and there's some obvious examples of an artistic touch in the film. Like there's a great dance sequence towards the end between two characters, which is just thrown in there, but it's absolutely fantastic.
It's brilliant,
and as I say, that's obvious to the eye, but in the film there's loads of minute artistic kind of touches that it's just fantastic, man.
Absolutely. And also the fact that you can put the dance scene in a psychological thriller is quite an achievement.
Get away with it. Yeah. And it doesn't seem out of place, does it, at all?
Correct. No. So to answer the first question, if you would see it again, absolutely, that's a full-on yes for me.
100%, man. Yeah,
First of all, it does look really good, but second of all, probably the second viewing will explain even more of what you've seen from the first one.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not something that you can say about a lot of films these days. You know, this film is so full-on, so many things happening, or so many things can be revealing on the second viewing that it can be a delight to see it again and again, basically, which is incredible to say about the film. And then the last question is the spoiler-heavy question, like we always do. The question is, what scene did we think summed up the film best, or what was the one that was impacted you the most? So if you want to watch it, stop, pause the clip, come back after you've seen the film, and then we'll crack on with our answers. Then, Basil, what scene do you think? What was the one that made it for you?
I know it sounds bizarre to say, but for me, man,
bizarre answer for a bizarre film.
For a bizarre film, yeah. For me, I actually think that dance sequence that we mentioned kind of did sum up the film quite a lot for me, because it's like it was quite beautiful to watch, and to me it was like a little story. In that dance, which was like I've said this to you before we started filming, like it was like kind of like they were trying to explain the film through the medium of dance, really. You know, and like say the dance gets interrupted at one point with this younger janitor because the dance is taking place in the school, and I personally think that had something to do with the overlaying message to the story, because I was thinking that one of the characters might have suffered some trauma, maybe some sexual assault, maybe. That's just my fear. That's just my theory. But again, Charlie Kaufman wants you to come up with some theories, and I thought that was a great indication of kind of what the film was all about. Really, it was something fantastic's going on. It should be a great love story, but it keeps getting affected by menacing kind of characters, really, and I don't know why I thought if there's the scenes in the film, there's not really one definitive one that sums it up, but I thought that for me was
the thing with for me it was in the college. It's a simple scene, is when the main character meets the janitor for the first time in the college, in the corridor, and and he gives him his slippers, and then she doesn't take him and just leaves. It's just, I mean, it sounds like a simple scene, but the build up to this scene is that scene means a lot. Means a lot of stuff.
It's very potent, that scene, when it comes round, isn't it? Yeah.
Very good recommendation. So it's I'm thinking of Ending Things. That's what it's called. It's on Netflix. This is a conversation starter. It's something that I encourage everybody who watches this to put comments of what they think the film was about.
You won't come away with this film with nothing to say.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, we'll talk next week, Basil.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers,
Thanks
man.
a lot. See you later, man.
Thank you.